this matter is an interesting one. Recall that even a senator had said that the same Tuesday, that's Senator representing Kano South, Senator Karu Sumaila, had made an allegation that some of his colleagues were allowing their aides, people, the use of illicit drugs, be it in their offices and their homes, and that there are chances that some of his colleagues were using, drugs. Now, having that at the back of your mind, and this matter of the allegation against the Kwara South senator, how do you juxtapose all of these issues and the matter of the investigation?
Thank you very much, Vero. If we start from the background information of the man representing Kano and your relationship with the HNIs, we call them the I network. There are the use of drugs by some of those people are done discreetly because there are things they can afford. And I've come to ask the question, possibly because of the pressure. They just need something to take off some of those things. It may not, some might be recommended, some might be what they just feel that they need to use. And when you look at the allegation against this senator, I don't think there is a direct attack on him to say he's using the drug. But what we are saying is we have individuals around you whom we, while, doing on a tip-up information, while doing a ransack around your house, we had this happening, of which I can tell you very much possible because you can't know 100%.
Those around you.
Those around you. You stay as a senator in your room most of the time. You come out once in a blue moon. You never have understanding of the people around you. And I read the refutal by the aide to the senator saying the names being mentioned by the NDLEA they are not in the custody of the aides or any of the aides of the senator. There was against one another. But I feel that I have some things to give to NDLEA too. In this kind of high network investigation, or when you have their house, I don't know, we should have equipment that can record activities of such what I would call proceedings or action being carried out. Because it is not going to stop here. Now investigation is, they have been invited by the Senate, at least to be seen, to be checking one of their own. Is it going to be mere words of mouth? You know, from my finance perspective, we don't act by mere. You want to catch someone and say he has conducted a fraudulent act, and you are coming with mere word of mouth. There must be facts. And when it comes to an agency like NDLEA, it's not documentation. It's not what that you write. We must have pictorial evidence, video evidences to confirm that while those things were actually carried out, even with timestamp when the house was ransacked, those are things that will actually confirm some of the things that they are saying about this and the personnel concerned that were actually caught in the act. I think three of them were mentioned, 2 in February, and I think another one around June. So we must have documentary evidence against this, and I think that's what we actually, allude to what they are saying about the senator, or it might just be one of those things. They are not the only one we see that most of the time will come, we hear about investigation being carried out, and will not see the end of it because those things are not actually substantive to actually defend what you are putting against this HNI.
But with the work that the NDLEA has done over the years, especially with the era of the person of Buba Marwa, do you say that they do not have the capacity with all that they have done, with what you are requesting now, video evidence and all of this, because we've seen the successes they have recorded over the years?
Vero, what interests me is the way you will handle a middle class or lower level people in this kind of allegation. It's not the same way you handle the HNI, the high network individual. And that's my challenge here. Okay. When you want to pick up, you see some of the ones they pick at the airport, pick here and there, you always see those things and they'll be very free to make those known. From what I read, this issue started February, and we are hearing this around October, September, October. What has happened between that February and now? If it is the normal average individuals that we know, we would have heard it in the news. And that's why I always say there are two levels at which we address issues from the agencies. When you are dealing with the high network people, you don't handle it the same way you handle the middle class. So if issues from what Babalakin said, that the first raid they carried at the senators that was in February, and from February till now, we didn't hear about being charged. Babafemi. We didn't hear of them being charged for that particular until the senator came up and said something that you now have to be putting up in media, a press release on some of those things. Those are areas where I have concern about. They have the capacity. But what we have observed when it comes to Nigeria, and we have to say it the way it is, the way and manner people who are high network are being handled are different from the way they will handle you and I, or the middle level people.
And on the flip side, the senator has also gone on to challenge the EFCC that indeed there was a link of those arrested of NDLEA. If indeed there was a link of the people arrested at his residence, then why haven't they been charged to court? And you've also spoken...
That's the area where I see as lacuna you are giving the man since February, June.
And he has gone on now to label the NDLEA as being corrupt and the most compromised agency in Nigeria. How do you react to that?
Yeah, because they gave the room. If you ask me, they gave the room. We keep saying it that you don't delay. You see, the way and manner we carry out investigation in this part of the world is quite interesting. We delayed it. Not only NDLEA, most of the agencies, it takes forever before you come out and charge the person to court. I mention this every now and then. Where are we on the suspended case of the Minister of Humanitarian? Can you say anything to it? That is another agency that nobody is saying anything to. Years to come, that will go under the drain. So how can you visit someone, April, have those evidences and fact against them? Until now, we have not heard anything about charging them to court.
There could be compromise.
Well,
with the evidence, there could be compromise.
So it's just left for you and I. They are only giving us, room for people to start feeling suspicious. Because if it is you've seen severally where people will be caught within 1 month, they are charged to court. Most of the ones that will see that happened, possible people trafficking drugs out of the country and they've been caught, they don't waste time on it. Why do we have to wait this long? So the senator must be speaking from the perspective of an informed person, being an high network, to say a lot of things must have gone under the water. And now that they are not, that's why they are now raising allegations against him. You might have sir, we observe this, because you don't come out openly when it gets to these big men. You don't come out openly. You try and talk and make some of these
Why try to talk? He's a Nigerian. He's a citizen.
Vero, you are not from Ghana now. Neither are you from UK.
I'm just saying that
we are on national TV, the way and manner. We operate the rule of law, but there are people that are above the law in this country. We've seen it happen, and that is our major issue when it comes to handling it. When you see majority of the corruption allegation, you've seen where we start from, where we are, and where most of them end to. So we are saying it open, and we've actually pinched the judiciary, the agency. They are all Nigerians. If you have weighty allegation or serious allegation against some of those people, can we make it as fast as we could, so that we can establish and know the next line of action? When I saw the spokesperson of NDLEA, they've been doing a fantastic job, and I've given a lot of commendation to Buba Marwa, who is the chairman, that he has actually, but you don't allow, when you allow one thing to, eroded all the goods that you've done, it's just one way of saying. They must address issue irrespective of who you are. We expect that by now, We should have heard that these are actually been put to court. The lawyers are actually, if it is the judiciary arm that is delaying, maybe we'll be having a different discourse. But we have not heard. And I don't know, possibly in the public domain, to say we've charged them to court, we've had the case, interrogated, they've adjourned it, and this is where we are. We've not heard that.
But what's your expectation of this Senate probe now? How comprehensive do you think it will be?
Well, for me, if they are able to make available to the Senate,
you mean the NDLEA?
The NDA, presenting its case, but the Senate are not the one to decide the fate of the people that have actually carried out the act. It's the court of competent jurisdiction that will determine. They will just go there, explain, possibly to exonerate the senator from what has actually happened. But I feel that without the Senate inviting to investigate or interrogate, the normal thing is to charge the court, and the court will decide the fate of the people. The area of saying that those personnel are not aides to the senator, it's just a mere words of you and I. There are so many. Do you know there are aides to aides to aides, like 3-level aides? They might not be directly aides to the senator, but they might be aides to the aides of the senator.
And because they were found around the environment.
And you don't just go into the house of a senator like that. We all understand the security mechanism surrounding the house of a senator. We've seen it. You don't just barge in and say you just want to go in like that. So it might not be directly aid to the senator, but it might be aid to the aid of the senator.
Because he's saying he doesn't even know the one that was arrested at his hometown.
At his hometown. So it might, because that's the level at which we have some of these people. Before you see the aid to the senator, you must see someone who is actually. So it might, even the person might be projecting themselves because they are identified with the. It's very easy to say, I know Vero. Vero is my very good friend. Even if Vero is not my friend, but because we've had a good handshake, maybe at a particular function, and we take a picture, I can go around and say, she's my very good friend. If you know our closeness, you will. So it's very much possible that the people that are actually caught in the act are not direct aides to the senator. This is still being investigated. But we know how those things are. People attach themselves to these politicians. They might not be directly, but indirectly, maybe aid to the aid, of which the senator may not even have a preview of who they are, even to her. But they will all claim, because one way or the other, the aides are people working for him to make sure that things are done for the senator. And those people may not even be known to the senator. So those are areas. But we wait for the... But I feel that the investigation on the part of the senator may not even go that far. These people should be charged to court. Let the judge decide their fate, have every evidence says whether they are direct staff, indirect staff, or who they are. The court will definitely put a clear cut to it, and that will serve as a guide for other people to say these are actually happening, because they may not have a clue of what is actually happening underneath them. You come in the morning, all a guy does is go straight to his room or to his living room. You have so many quarters where people come in. You are even talking of a senator. Are you aware that even some people that have security in their house, when a guy is in to sleep, they are harboring people to sleep in your house overnight.
And you do not have an idea.
You have an idea. Before Oga wakes up, they know that Oga will not come out until 8 o'clock in the morning. And by 6, that man is already out of his house. So he's actually harboring. So if they come in and pick up that person sleeping with your security in the same room with him, Oga will now say, I don't know. But your security knows it. And they caught him in your house.